We're live. Okay, we got it.
What's up?
We're rolling. How you doing, Mr. Slaughter?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Good? Huh?
Enjoying the day.
Enjoying the day.
Enjoying the
Gear
day.
back there. I want to ask you a question before we
Yes,
start
sir.
the show, because today we got a special show. Mark Farner.
Dude, such an influence on our band, such an influence of rock. I mean, people don't understand how big Grand Funk was. You know, I mean, it's such a great band, and Mark is such a great musician and human being, and I'm just so glad to be a part of this today because you know, I just love him. He's just everything I look up to as a human being and a guitar player, artist, and everything. He's a real deal.
Well, today you and me and Mark, we're gonna have
That's
a round
great.
table. We're gonna talk rock and roll.
That's it, man.
Keep it real, raw,
That's it.
and rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to begin now. What an intro. What an intro. And you know who that's you playing that intro.
That's what we do.
All right, everybody out there in the chat that's going to be watching this, that is watching this, remember to subscribe, hit that notification when we come on. When we don't come on, just remind yourself that we're always around. Never know when somebody's watching. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring it. Mark, Mr. Slaughter, give him the introduction.
The incredible singer, guitar player, master of both, from Grand Funk and still to this day kicking ass, Mark Farner.
Mark Farner, there he is. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
That guy. Yeah, I got to adjust my monitor here where I can. Oh yeah,
there you go.
That's rock and roll, baby.
Check out that jacket, man. He's got it all.
Let's look at you. Let's see what you got going on. Look at you.
He's always got this. He's always got the look, man.
Look at him. That's a legend. I love the jacket, man. The jewelry.
Yeah.
It's northern Michigan, and we got snow on the ground, boys.
Yeah, man.
Is it snowing? Huh? What's it like out there by you now?
Well, we got 14 degrees, and it's just the snow is just kind of falling out of the air. We got lake effect snow up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about 4 miles from Lake Michigan, so that makes me a candidate for lots of snow. But we've been lucky this year. There's been hardly any. Comparatively speaking to former years,
right?
Got by pretty easy so far.
Wow. Now, where you live, Mark, are you away from like the a hustle and bustle from the town, or are you somewhere private where you're at?
Yes, it's the woods. I live right here in Wonderland.
That's great.
Got trout stream that runs about 1/4 of a mile through our property. And we had so much time off this summer, boys. And I put in a garden, and we man, it was killer. It was the best garden we ever had because we every day to go and work on that thing.
Right. You go, what am I going to do today? Oh well, I'll go do that. That's
right.
Home improvement has never been better. That's for sure for all of us.
No, well, Home Depot's really kicking ass these days. I hear they're rocking.
Big box stores are laying it out, man.
They are laying it
out.
So what were you growing, Mark? What's the vegetable that Farner's garden? Tell us what you had in there.
This jacket?
No, in your garden. What were you growing in your garden? You
tomatoes?
Yeah, tomatoes.
Yeah, right down. I'm pointing at it. Right down there. Down the hill from the house. And yes, on the plateau of that little trout stream that runs through there. So even if we didn't get rain, on the driest day, you can go down there and turn like 6 inches of dirt over, and it's wet down there. So our garden does great because it's on that plain, and it's at the bottom of the valley. So it's getting all the nutrition because everything's running downhill.
Right.
Just like God said, here you go, buddy, right here. Here you put your stuff right there.
Yeah.
Good shit right there.
Man, so you got it going on. Me, I'm the only guy that probably killed tomatoes, and that's a hard one to kill. Look at Mark's face.
That's good.
The poor tomatoes, man. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Too much water. I don't know what's going on. Well, Mark, let's have the round table rock and roll. Keep it raw, real, because that's what it's supposed to be. And as you got, I did a surprise for you. instead of bringing an annoying reporter, I brought Mark Slaughter, a guy who loves you, influenced you, and he probably wouldn't be playing guitar because of you. So
That's right. Absolutely.
And he's my blood.
That's it.
He is my brother.
That's it, man. Absolutely.
And I saw the clip of you guys, and here's the crazy thing. Well, Mark Slaughter sent me, he goes, look at this one day late at night, because Mark had this video of you guys on Howard Stern show jamming. And then I'm like, oh my God, I know everybody in the band except for the bass player. I don't know why I didn't get the call, because I'm a bass player and I forgive everybody. But yeah, Sandy on drums, a great guy.
Yeah.
Teddy Zigzag played on that, keyboards, great guy, another great one. You had Bruce Tulip, and then you had Mr. Slaughter. And
Kip Winger.
And Kip Winger on bass. But you guys kicked ass. You sound so good. You haven't skipped a beat, man. You sound amazing. What's the secret, Mark?
Married woman 13 years younger than yourself.
A cattle prod to get you going.
Yes, right. Make sure she's a damn good cook.
Damn good cook, huh? That's great. So, Mark, you got a lot of I know Mark Slaughter right away. You're a gearhead. Come on. We're in his garage right now. Man time. We got Man Cave Albert. What do you got behind you, Mark? Look at that. The guitars back there.
This is where we rehearse, and over here on this side, that L5S sitting there, the Gibson.
Yeah.
That's what I cut American Band with.
Oh man.
And the one here, the Messenger, is what I cut the first 6 albums with.
Wow.
Or at least 5 of them before they went.
Now, wow, look at that, huh? Now, I don't want to get things wrong. We recorded live and all this. I have a picture back in the day. This guitar you're holding in this picture.
That's the Messenger.
That's the Messenger right there. Wow, look at that. Look at that.
That is crazy.
Look at the audience. Look at you over there.
It's aluminum neck on that thing. The aluminum neck went all the way through the body, the tailpiece. It was all like hooked together. And I had to tape up the F holes on it because she liked to scream.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, when the bass gets big, it vibrates those strings for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Slaughter knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's why he's here. He's here to make me look good. So then after we could become friends, you'll call me again. I want to keep it real and raw. Now on the live album, what guitar are you holding on this one right there?
That's the Messenger.
That's the Messenger again, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that the one that you I know you're playing a Parker. Last time I saw you were playing the Parker. You still playing the Parker guitar?
Oh, yeah. I got the Parker 5.
Right.
It's a hardtail, no wangy bar. Tail, 5 pounds.
5 pounds.
Yeah. When I got my operation that fused C6 and C7, the rock doc comes out in Nashville and he says, okay, I forgot to tell you, no more Telecasters, no more Stratocasters, no more Les Pauls, no more Les Paul. I'm going, wait, stop. You are on my guitars. But when I was with Ringo in 95, we went to Japan, and I have been a Korg endorser for years, and went to Korg in Tokyo to check out some of their new stomp boxes and some of the things. And while I was there with Ringo, they said, have you got Parker guitar? Do you know about Parker? And I said, I've never heard of a Parker guitar. This guy walks around the corner, grabs one, and he comes back in and he hands it to me. I reach out, I grab it, and I go like, what the hell is that? There's nothing to that. Right. And that was like the first time I had ever seen one. And then after my operation, my brain kicked in and went, Parker guitar, 5 pounds, 5 pounds. So I called Ken Parker and Larry Fishman, and they sent me Parker Fly, of course, with a wang bar. And I told him, I called up Kenny. I said, Kenny, I don't use the wang bar. If there's any way you could make me one, or if you've got a hardtail, I'll take it. And so they made me a special hardtail. I call one is Baby. That she's my little red baby. And then my other little red is a red ruby. Yeah. I got me a nice one and a backup for it.
And you use a piezo pickup in the back of it for the acoustic sound. Do you use that on stage a lot, or do you just use it just more humbucker?
I use more humbucker until we get to "I'm Your Captain," and then I'll flip it into that middle position, Mark,
right,
where you're getting the piezo and the magnetics, and then you can get that crisp edge, that acoustic twinkle there on top, and it sounds pretty close.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, you heard the track, Stefan, when he sings and when he plays. It just gives me chills. We were sitting down writing. We still have to finish that song. We were sitting down writing the song, and the whole time he's singing next to me, it's just like, you know, there's a thing about when you grow up and you hear and you listen to these musics and it becomes so much of a part of your life. And then when you start to hear that person right next to you, it's just like that infusion of like, this is the shit I love right here. And this is the guy who did it. It was like the coolest thing. So, you know, again, not to fanboy out, but you know, Mark is absolutely amazing singer and guitar player. You know, and entertainer. Ultimately, we're entertainers.
Yeah,
and Mark is an entertainer that when you go to see him play, he doesn't just play the songs then walk off the stage. I mean, once he steps on the stage, you know he's hit the stage. And I think that's why Grand Funk had the success that they did beyond the songs, was the band really went out there and just kicked everybody's ass, including, you know, even to Zeppelin, and sometimes, you know,
I mean, there's nothing more you can say. First of all, everybody says the same old thing. The band here, you got this little band called the Beatles at Shea Stadium, but you guys sold it out quicker than them. This is it's insane. And then
crazy.
You're playing with Ringo. You in this band. Did Ringo ever bust your chops? Goes, oh, so you saw? Did it ever give you a hard time? Anything like that? Like a joke, rib you? You know?
Well, we were standing in Tokyo just before the press conference, and you know, they were talking, Randy Bachman and Felix Cavalieri talking about, well, you know, you're going to say something about, you know, Shea Stadium. And I said, you mean the fact that we sold it out faster than the Beatles? And Ringo standing over there like that going, you know. That's all I said. I never got into him or rubbed it in or anything. I just made a mention of that.
Right.
I would have rubbed it in. I had to. Now, Mark Slaughter, Mr. Slaughter, here you are playing this gig. What was going on in your mind? I mean, fanboying out a little bit. Look at you. You
know what? The whole time, whenever I'm on stage with Mark, I just I just sit back and enjoy the moment. Just like when you did the show with Eddie Van Halen. It's just, you know, you're with royalty here, man. You know, Mark is royalty to me and to my whole band, whether it's, you know, Blando or Dana. We love Mark. You know, those songs are a staple in our whole life. And you know, anybody who, even in the rock camp, everybody's like, oh, here comes Mark, man. I mean, you know, he's legendary to us. He was the influence that really made us beyond the Beatles. It was, well, we want to be a band and we want to have that freaking American rock and roll thing. And that's exactly what those guys were.
Yeah. I mean,
still are.
I mean, there's so many interviews and so many stories with the whole story of Mark and Grand Funk, the whole story, how you guys started out, but the beginning, Mark, as a kid growing up, you know, well, the moment for you, what was that first thing that goes, I want to do rock and roll. This is it. That guy gave you chills. It made you want to grab a guitar. What was it? Who was it?
It was getting water on the knee when I was playing football in school. And I disqualified myself by getting this injury. And then the doctor told my mother, well, he's not going to be running track either. He's not going to do any sports because he's got water on the knee and it's bad. And so my mother, to pacify me, she got me 6 lessons and rented an acoustic guitar that would have better been used as a bow and arrow. The strings are about far from the neck. You could ding. But after 3 lessons, a guitar teacher I had, he shot himself in the foot. It was pheasant season in Michigan, and no joke, this guy shot himself in the foot with a 12.
Oh, really?
He's not using the guitar anymore. My mother says, well, the guitar teacher told me to tell you to watch the guys in the band in the high school there that you know, the older guys, and learn from them, because you're picking up pretty good by ear. And so that's what I did. I went and I hung with the guys in this high school band, and none of them were singing, but they were playing like Walk, Don't Run, and playing Wipeout, and playing all these instrumental stuff. You remember that? The
Ventures. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's and I could sing. So before I got to plug my guitar in, because I got good enough, my cord went back to the amplifier back here, went through the handle of the amplifier and back over the back of the amp, and did not get plugged in. It just kind of looked like it was. So I was kind of Milli Vanilli in the guitar.
You were Milli Vanilli before they were even born out there doing it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, what were the acts of the music that really influenced you, that you listened to and said, I got to figure out how, or the guitar players that inspired you?
Well, Jeff Beck, man, the Yardbirds came to Flint, Michigan, and they played at the IMA auditorium. And because our manager, the group's manager at the time, had it in with the stage manager, we got to come in and stand alongside them on the side stage. And my eyes were glued to Jeff Beck, and he sets that telly right on its side on the deck, and it's turned up, and it is, it's just going crazy out there. And he's back, he's going like he's making a magic thing and making that guitar do all this wang and stuff out. It was, and I'm watching, I'm going, man, look at this. This is what I want to do. I want to do that. I'm gonna get Telecaster so I can do that.
Right.
They as soon as the show was over, those guys were gone. But we went back up to their dressing room. We had to go in there, The Yardbirds were in this dressing room.
Wow.
Right.
And we go in there. There was this funny smell in there, guys. That's the first time I ever smelled it.
Really?
And it wasn't a skunk. And it wasn't a skunk underneath your house, right?
That's right.
Wow. Yeah. That's that's killer, man. That's killer. The first smell.
Yeah, man.
That was it. That's funny.
When I was at the Wild Horse, and my son, I was working with Parliament. I was actually doing a production over there, and my son came down to the. He was a little kid at the time. He says, Dad, what's the incense they're burning in here? And I said, don't worry about the incense. That's funny. Yeah, you don't even know, when you're a kid, you don't know.
You don't know. Now it's everywhere. Now it's all everywhere, man. So
exactly.
So that was the beginning of it for you guys, man. And the story, which a lot of everybody does know of you guys getting from the beginning, getting screwed, it's a typical rock and roll story. The beginning of it all, man, huh? But you with the history of when you first came out, you guys first came out, and you said to Don, hey, we need a bass player, right?
Right.
The story of finding your bass player.
Yeah.
Let's go into that right now.
We were stranded in Cape Cod. The band that I was in, two of the guys were married. I was not playing an instrument in this band. All I was doing was standing up front and singing and shaking the tambourine and dancing. But the keyboard player was married, and the guitar player, Kenny Rich from Canada, he was married. And, there was no cell phones, guys. So we had an excuse. We couldn't call anybody. 2 weeks we're out there. They don't know if we're dead or alive. So their wives, oh boy, by the time we got home, their wives were threatening divorce. They both had to quit the band. The band broke up. I said to Brewer, man, this is such a drag. We got to let's just start a 3-piece and make sure this guy is not married. Whoever it is. Can't have these women messing up the band.
No.
We went to Delta Promotions in Bay City, the outfit that sent us out to Cape Cod, out to the Boston area. And they told us that if we did good out there, we could actually go back and make some money there. But we were going to play these gigs. We had like 6 gigs booked, and we're going to have to do them for free. So we're thinking, okay, this is promotional, and as long as they're feeding us, we'll do this because we love to play music. And if this is what it takes to get out of Flint, Michigan, put us down, put our name down on that list.
Right.
But when the snow hit, we were socked in. We were in summer cottages on Cape Cod. We had already been to the beach. You know, Michigan boys never seen the ocean before. We had every starfish within reach, every shell, every kind of thing. We took it, put it in the crawl space of this little, summer house cottage there. And then when the snowstorm hit, oh my God, all the pipes froze, the crawl space flooded, and all of our starfish were in ice. All of our shells, everything was frozen. And, because the pipes were frozen, and you have 2-3 foot of snow on the level, we had to melt down snow to cook our oatmeal, and oatmeal was the only thing we had for the last 6-7 days. And the guy at the East Sandwich store, the grocery store there, fronted us the oatmeal. But that's all we had. We didn't have any sugar, no butter, nothing else. We just had oatmeal. Then we melt down the snow, cook the oatmeal. I'm telling you, it's tough. It was tough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And because the pipes were froze, you couldn't flush the toilet, brother.
Oh my God.
So what do? You got a chair that's got no bottom in it. You put plastic down inside of one of these paper big grocery sacks that we got from the guy in East Sandwich, and we'd make our little thing down in there, roll it up, and go out and stick it in the snowbank somewhere. Right? I would have hated to been that guy doing spring cleanup.
This is your Hamburg days, basically.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's like the top ramen. That's it. The 80s top ramen is what those guys were dealing with. Exactly. That's what musicians did then.
Brewer got a hold of his mom, the guy at the East Sandwich store, finally let him call. And because he knew it was serious after we kept coming back every day after day after day, he knew it was serious. So Brewer's mom Western Unioned some cash to us to a drugstore that we had to go back across to the mainland, and hitchhike up the coast to this drugstore and get the money. And we got, rented a van, put the equipment in there, and went home. And man, after the whole thing was over, we wanted to get a piece of Delta promotion because they were the ones saying, we're going to do this for free and then go back and make the money. We didn't know that each one of those 6 shows was paid $350 a night. We found that out kind of through the grapevine. And when we found that out, we're going to go back and give them a piece of our mind, and
that's right.
Kick a piece of their ass is what we wanted to do.
I mean, with the frozen pipe and the oatmeal and all this nonsense.
Oh man.
So we're sitting there and we're waiting to get in to speak with Kehoe, the guy that owned Delta Promotions. Well, this facility, they had a rehearsal facility there. They had kind of a music store there and stuff. But we're in the waiting room, and you could hear the band that was in their rehearsal facility. You could hear the bass coming through the wall. And I'm sitting there. I look over at Brewer. I said, dude, are you listening to this bass player? He goes, hell yeah, man, I'm listening to this bass player. We got to find out who that is. I said, cool, man, I'm in it. So as soon as they took their break, Mel Shocker walks out. It was Question Mark and the Mysterians in there playing.
Wow.
We told Mel of our plan to start a 3-piece and said, brother, would you want to join us? He said, yes, I am so ready to leave this band. It was, they had some bad feelings or something that he crashed one of their vehicles. And he said, it's perfect timing for me. So we started rehearsing the next week at the Flint Federation of Musicians on Averill Street there in Flint, Michigan. And Frank Geyer was the guy that come out and kept telling us about every 5 minutes, you boys turn that damn thing down.
Right.
We can't hear the phones ringing.
Man.
Oh, man.
So there's a lot of other musicians that have come out of Flint. Ted came out of Flint, Michigan. Blando, our guitar player, is from Flint as well. Who else is from Flint that you know of?
you know, exactly coming out of Flint. I know that Alice Cooper's Detroit, you know, Michigan,
Yeah.
and who's Glenn Fry. You know, we had the MC5, Wayne Kramer.
Wayne Kramer, of course.
Right.
You know, God, we have so many people that came up, and it is the people say, well, was something in the water? What was you guys?
Yeah.
Well, it was, I believe it was the auto factories that drew people in. My mother's family came from Leachville, Arkansas, and when she was 16 years old, and then she met my dad, and they were married when she was like 20, 21, something like that. But it was North meets South, and the Southerners that came, my mom's family, my Grandpa Cotton, Uncle Woody, Uncle Brian, all these people had instruments like banjo, violin, guitar, and my dad played guitar and he played saxophone, and the women sang so good. I'm talking family, brothers. This is the family, and it was magic. And that really got me into, you know, wanting to do music in the first place, is because I felt good when they were playing music. I felt better. I felt good, man. I'm like around. So that was some good years. And Michigan is the fertile ground, because we have the North meets the South, and not just Leachville, Arkansas. We're talking about Mississippi. Our neighbors were from Mississippi, and from Louisiana, people come up and worked in Georgia, North and South Carolina, Kentucky. People moved up to get high-paying auto factory jobs. Yeah, well, the jobs, a lot of those jobs left, but the families are still here. And residual family. I mean, they had kids, and the kids had kids by now. I mean, so you don't got grandkids, and but we're still here, and good people. We there's not a racist bone up here like there was.
No, that's something I want to ask you, because you know, here's the other thing about Detroit. The Motown sound is Detroit. Yeah. And all the churches and the things around there. Do you feel that because there really is no barrier? I don't think that there's that it's a racial equality, in my opinion, when it's just like you've always been really soulful in how you sing. And do you think that the R&B side of that, of Motown and being around that, is also part of what made your sound?
Oh yeah, most definitely, Brother Mark, because you know, we listened to and back then, you know, it was AM radio. Right. There wasn't even
in fact, that's what I used to listen to me when I listened to you when the Locomotive was such a big hit. Yeah. I had my AM radio strapped, and I would get fresh batteries, and I'd duct tape it to my bike, and I'd ride my bike all day. And, you know, they'd play you every hour. And I was just like, and every time that solo hit, I would just be like, God, I wanted to figure it out. And I wasn't even playing guitar, but I just wanted to figure out how you got that sound. It was such a great tonality to that. I mean, the song was great. I mean,
but they made it their own. They made it their own.
They did. They made it better than the original.
You know, it's
absolutely
funny.
Better.
Here's a name drop. So when I was playing with Dee Dee Ramone of the Ramones, we would cover it, but I would do Mark's version. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I go, this is the version, and I go, you gotta listen, because it was just heavy.
Huge. It was huge, so, man. Yeah, it was great.
So, appreciate it.
Oh man, I was like,
it's the truth, man. That's the inspiring part of how I grew up, man. I can still see my little red AM radio, and I was just like, God, man, that was the flanger and how you did all this stuff in there. I mean, I don't know what you were doing in the tricks of the studio at the time.
Brother, that was Rundgren. I got to tell you, the way that song even came into play was I had gone home across the street from the studio. Was my farm on that side of the road, but the studio, and it was a dirt road going by, you know, this is the country, boys. So the studio was across the road in the forest on the back side of that 80. And I would go down the little 2-track into the studio. Well, I ate lunch and I'm going back. It's a sunny day. It's beautiful. I'm about halfway down the driveway into the studio, and I could hear the guys in the parking lot. And I could hear them talk. They were out having a smoke or whatever. They taking a break, waiting for me to get back from lunch. and I just come on. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now, and here comes the background from the boys. I couldn't see them yet, but I could hear their background vocals. And when I came around the corner, and I'm still singing, and I see the boys out there, and we're singing back and forth to each other. Rundgren comes out of the building because at this time the studio door is wide open. We're letting a little fresh air in there. He comes out and he goes, "What the hell is that?" I said, "What is that?" "That's Little Eva, man. That's a locomotion." He says, "Well, get your asses in here now because we're going to record the locomotion."
Wow.
We went, "Are you kidding?" "No, let's do it right this minute while we're hot." So we got in there, and Rundgren goes up into the control room. He hits, and this is back when they were putting it on 2-inch tape, and he hits the go button, and he comes out into the studio, and he's singing the real high falsetto parts and clanging ashtrays, and we just had a ball with that song, recording it. And when it came to the guitar lead, Slaughter, Rundgren was over there. He had grabbed the tape head of my Echoplex, and I started playing. And he goes, "Yeah, yo, 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 yo." It's like, oh my God, this guitar is eating itself, and I'm trying to. And plus, I'm watching him, and he's just having a ball over there with my Echoplex. I said, "This is great. I love it." I don't know.
It is a staple of studio, and again, you know, that it's the energy that you guys put into it, and you know, that was the thing about Grand Funk, and it, in that energy of the band, you know, I don't know a lot of bands that really look forward to playing with them because they just kicked everybody's ass. I mean, they were all over their game.
Well, just now, with you just kicking into the intro, the vocals, it just shows,
right?
It's like Steve Cropper had Otis Redding, you know, Grand Funk had Mark over here, because
exactly.
Just him going into it, I'm like, oh my God, he could just ready to do a show right now. It's like to grab my face.
I'm telling you, it gives me goosebumps every time he
here, we'd knock it out for you. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll say one thing right now between us. When this whole crazy thing goes away, I say we all meet up one day and we meet at Mark Farner's place and we do a jam. That's a bucket list of mine. To be in the room, you know.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Mark, so now you got a live DVD coming out also February 23rd.
Yes,
that is the correct day, right? I'm not.
Yes.
And where was that done at?
From Chile with Love was done in Santiago, Chile. It was at Teatro Caupolicán. It's like a theater in the round. And it was full of love, and the people that were there, oh my God. It was just, you know, before we got there, the dates had already been booked. And then Abby, Slaughter, you know, Abby Steinman.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He calls and he says, "Hey, this company, this Abismo Films wants to do a shoot, and they're going to give you a real good deal." And he told me the price. And I said, "You're kidding me, man." I said, "Let's do it." So they did it. Abismo did it, and they did a great job. And they captured the relationship that we have. They have that movement of between the audience and the stage, and man, they brought it to life, and they brought it without me stumbling over anybody. And when's the last time, Slaughter, you were on when they were shooting camera and you didn't run into somebody? I've run into somebody, knock them on their ass or whatever.
Right. Or trip back over them. I've fallen over many of you know, they're like when you push somebody with their sitting behind you. I've fallen. I don't know how many times I've done that.
That's right. Yeah, great camera crew, great videos, and the part of the promotion for it's from Chile with Love, but part of the promotion for on Veterans Day, we released a single from the video of Rock and Roll Soul, and it's a free download off markfarner.com if anybody wants to download that and check it out. It's from the show. Part of the show is in there, but it's a video that this guy put together that's really good. It's got a little kid coming in at the end. It's like Grandpa and him go for a ride in the Camaro. It's badass. It's really good, man. I love doing it with him.
That's great.
Awesome. That's awesome. The people and how about the crowd out there, man?
Yeah, they were louder than the PA. I'm not kidding you. And you can hear it on the DVD, but the DVD contains 16 live performances, 2 bonus videos, and 5 bonus tracks. It's the first time that they've been released in this form. And so it's a bargain at $14.99. Plus Lisa and I, my wife Lisa and I, are giving $3 from each one of the DVDs to the Veterans Support Foundation. And the Veterans Support Foundation is for veterans. It's of veterans, by veterans, for veterans. So no government involvement whatsoever. And these are the guys, the same guys that did Guitar Army at Harpo's in Detroit back in the early 70s. So they're real. They've been around, and it's a where they can take people off the street. It's so productive. They put people to work, man. They pick these guys up that don't have any self-esteem, and they bring them back to this world. They go in, put them in society back up where they have some self-esteem, and they are looking like, I'm going ahead here. So we have to back organization like that up. And if I could give the 800 number, just in case of a veteran that needs a little help, you got to call this number. It's toll free, 800-882-1316. That's 800-882-1316. Do a vet a favor, give them a call.
Right, the 800-882-1316, right below you. I put that there for you. And you know what else we're going to do? I'm going to put a link also for everybody out there that's watching this, and it's going to watch, that's starting to watch as you go in the descriptions, all the links for the DVD, the 800 number, anything for you to be connected to through the mystic world of the internet. There's going to be a click, one simple click, it'll take you right there.
You're a good man. You're a good man.
Man. Well, hey, man. Thank you for being here, man. Look at that. I didn't even know I have a production team going on. Huh? Look at what you can do when you're in your bedroom, right? Thank God for my wife. I'll be lost more. Everybody needs a Yoko. Everybody. I need my Yoko to keep me in track. Just sometimes, just if my wife is watching it, when we do get that magic moment to all jam together, honey, can I just have my time with the guys in the jam room? And
Right.
Mark, you are just a fabulous guy, and your spirit, and as long as you've been in this business with the ups and downs with life, and if there's going to be a movie about anybody, you're like one, because you come out smiling and strong between health, personal situations. What is the key? How do you do this? If anybody's watching that's going through a hard time with loss or just life, tell us, man.
Well, when I died, I found out on my way back into the bone suit, I was given a clear vision of the number one problem on earth. Number one problem is people have left the strength of the power that they were born into, born in love. We weren't born with M16s in our hands. We didn't have no knives sticking out of our teeth when we was born. People have to be taught to kill. People have to be taught to do the things in this world that are abusive, and they are against our natural self. They are abusive towards love. But what I discovered on my way back in, it was what I knew the whole time, because I'd been telling my wife, it's debt consciousness, not just money debt. I'm talking the unfulfilled expectations of other people. Now they'll put you in debt to that. And if it's in your family, holy shit, look out, man. I mean, it's like they call everybody, they're against you. It's on sides. What is that? It's debt. It's the weapon that was formed against all people. But my Bible says no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I am the living proof that if you put your mind to it, you set yourself free. That's what Jesus is all about. Oh, no man anything, even if you got a mortgage. It's right here.
It's right there.
You cannot allow the things of this earth to confound you. And I'm telling you something, brothers. One of my friends owed the Infernal Revenue Service some money, and he couldn't take it any longer. And he stuck a 20 gauge under his throat and blew the back of his head off because of money, because of the perception. It was an indebtedness. He was so confounded by this indebtedness. He couldn't live with it anymore. It was making him nuts.
And you know what? That's the thing. You can't take it with you. It's just like, we have our toys and the things that allow us to our brushes, so to speak, behind you and behind me of what allows us to paint. But the truth is when we're in the box, we're going to decay. And just like everybody else in the same type of box, has nothing to do with any of that,
It's now I feel like we're getting real. We're talking about something real, because a lot of people out there, with the way the world is going right now, a lot of people losing their jobs. They don't know how to handle it. Musicians, the techs, everybody. All of a sudden, the rug got pulled. What do? We have a family. We got a mortgage. And in here, it could be the worst. You can make yourself up. It gets dark, and sometimes
especially with COVID right now. Everybody's a lot of people that are freaking.
Yeah, it gets so dark that sometimes you can't see the light, man. And you unfortunately, your son passed away. It's a heavy story. Just different stuff, and you come out, man, positive, man. And you know what? You have that smile and that drive, and
it's a spirit, man.
It's a spirit,
Yeah, and again, soul. He's got soul, and I think that's a key point, in music and as a human being,
Yeah, well, I'm a free man, brothers. On my re-entry into this bone suit, and I say, re-entry because where I was, I did not want to come back. I was kicking, I was screaming, I was fighting. I'm going, are you shitting me? I gotta go back there. It's like, no. And all of a sudden I'm back in the bone suit. Oh my God, here I am.
Wow.
But I'm glad that I made the trip. I know where my resting place is.
Yeah.
And as soon as we exit the bone suit, we are present with love. And we are full of it right at the baby stage, but we get taken away from it by being convinced that we have to do this or the bad thing will happen. We got to do this or the bad thing's going to happen. But that debt consciousness, that is our imagination. You can't go to the drugstore and buy a little box of it and dump it on the table and say, what the hell does this look like? Or have a dump truck full of debt, pull up and dump it in your driveway. See what that wade through and see what that's. No, it's all here. And that's why it's such a weapon. And people have fallen for it because they were not trained in the right way. And the churches get to come in there and give you money. The ones that operate under a 501c3 have given the authority of their ministry to the Infernal Revenue Service. Now, what the hell is wrong with that? Come on. And so there's an indebtedness that comes with that practice. And if you're being taught to give and do all this stuff and tithe, that money has nothing to do with your soul or where your soul is going. What has to do with every one of us that has red blood? The price has been paid. Love paid the price, and we're all in. Let's stop fighting and bitching. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah. Amen.
Right.
Yeah. So when you had this, when this happened to you, where were you when you with your what's this?
When you say you passed, it was when you had your heart attack?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a heart attack. My wife and I had gone down to Detroit. And we were doing some promotion down there, and we were staying at the Renaissance Center at the hotel there. And my wife got up in the morning, and she's doing her thing in the bathroom, and she said when she came out that my arm shot up in the air, my leg shot out, and I had this strange look on my face, and I was had white as a sheet, and I kind of rolled over and out of the bed. And she dials and gets the medics up there. They get the oxygen on me and kind of revive me a little bit, put me on a gurney and get me in the ambulance. And I'll go over to Harper Hospital. What happened was I had a bundle branch block, which is the nerves of your heart, respond to the brain sending. You're supposed to squeeze a lower ventricle, supposed to push it up and to the top. And, well, mine didn't get the signal, boys. And so I just quit. But one thing I found out through this whole venture was the doctor that did the catheter on me, they stick that camera and they go right up your groin and they come on up and they check out the valves in your heart with this camera that's on this. He came in the following day and he says, Mr. Farner, I'm this, he gives me his name, and he says, he's the doctor that did the catheter on me. And he says, I'm 37 years old. I have done thousands of these, and I want to tell you something. He says, you have the cleanest arterial system I have ever seen. I said, no kidding. And he says, I did a 12-year-old boy yesterday, and your arterial system is better than his. You don't have anything around the valves of your heart. You don't have any blockage anywhere. I want to know what the hell you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, the only thing that I do religiously every day, and I have for 50 years, is ginseng tea. But it's a certain brand. It's alive. And if you heat it up over 140, you're going to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
So I take the ginseng, I put it in my coffee after my coffee's down to, where I know I can stick my finger in and go, okay, it's ready. And then I put the ginseng in there. I'm good, because it's a blood cleanser. It's a blood purifier.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. All I can tell you is
it with ginger. Would you have ginger with that, or just straight ginseng?
Just straight ginseng, but I get it in the tar. It's like 100 gram, comes in a little jar, or you can get a big jar, 300 grams. But that's like $300 or something. It's pretty expensive. But I use it in my coffee. I just do 1 little teaspoon, or it comes with a measuring spoon. And the brand name is Ilhwa. I-L, 2 words, I-L-H-W-A. Ilhwa.
Ilhwa.
And you get the extract, and you're getting the pure plant. They do have it on little packets of fructose sugar that with the ginseng on it, so you could just dump it in some warm water and have just straight ginseng. I do that when I'm on the road, because you can't mess around with that tar. It's like molasses or something.
Does it change the flavor of the coffee? Does it change the flavor of the coffee? Or?
It increases the strength. That's what it tastes like. It does.
Okay.
If you drink,
have you ever tried umi plum concentrate? Are you familiar with that?
No.
Umi plum is a Japanese plum, and they have a paste. Eden Foods has it, but it's 30 times concentrate. And it's like you said, it's like a tar. It'll stain your fingers. It's that tarish.
Oh, really?
But you just get like a tiny spoon that comes with it. You put in, if you're getting sick, it actually cleans out all your lymph glands.
Uh-huh.
So as a vocalist, it's another thing that I carry this little jar of tar with me, and you just put it, and it actually, that type of stuff, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's the problem is with, I think, the whole medical side of it is we're always fixing the effect instead of the cause.
Yeah.
Right.
And like what Mark's saying about the ginseng, well, he was fixing it with ginseng because it's cleaning the, the plumbing, so to speak,
Cleaning the pipes.
Cleaning the plumbing. Yeah. That's right.
When Jack, he got his operation, and he got his heart transplant, Jack Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
I was over, I was in someplace in Pennsylvania, and his wife was, talking to some lady, and she said, I wish I could find something for Jack. And I just go over to her, and I said, have you tried Wobenzyme? She said, Wobenzyme? She's German, and she said, Wobenzyme. Oh, you mean Wobenzyme? Wobenzyme. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Yes, we need to get some Wobenzyme. But that's what I use for anti-inflammatory, and it was formulated for rheumatoid arthritis in Germany. It sells more than aspirin does in Germany, and it kills inflammation in the body. That's what it does. And Michael Bolton takes it. His manager, Louis Levin. Anybody that takes the Wobenzyme is keeping the inflammation under control, because we take it as a preventive maintenance. After you've got used to taking it, I took like 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening for 5 days. They're about the size of an aspirin, but they're enteric coated so that they don't activate till they get all the way through the duodenal small intestines and into the large intestines. And then it's like, wow, we're kicking the bad guy's ass. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that I've turned on to the Wobenzyme has thanked me over and over and over. I take 7 3 times a day on an empty stomach. Has to be taken on an empty stomach at least 45 minutes before you eat a meal.
Yeah.
And then it's doing the systemic work. But buddy, between that and the Ilhwa and the Shilajit, have you tried the Shilajit?
Yeah, what is the tell us?
It's a resin that was formed when the continents collided and the mountains were formed. The Himalayas, they got pushed up there. All the organic humus was smashed. And this is back when trees were trees, brothers. It got all smashed between the continents. And now up above 12,500 feet, and for thousands of years, this resin has been oozing from the rocks. And they discovered it because there's one band of monkeys up there that have been eating the shilajit, and the ones at the lower elevation down at 4,000 feet are half as big as these monkeys that are eating the shilajit up there at 12,500 feet. And they are the boss. It's the same band, but you see with your eyes, big difference. And in India, they call this shilajit the destroyer of weakness. That's what it does. It's not like coffee that, prematurely releases the energy from your stored in your DNA, in your cells. That's what caffeine does. This adds to your stamina. It adds fulvic acid and folic acid and trace minerals out the ass. It's really good stuff. And it can't be heated up past 140 either, because you got to keep things alive. We are living organisms, and we need to be eating a lot more living organisms.
That's right. Otherwise, it's dead food.
You got it, brother.
You got it. Yeah, you're right. God, Mark, you're in great shape. You take care of yourself, and you what's your workout routine? Do you have one that you do?
Yeah, I grabbed that chainsaw.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing? Yeah, huh? Just all around the house, huh?
Yeah.
Natural lifting, almost old school, like Rocky, when Rocky was going to fight. Remember the Russian and Rocky, and he's going in the snow.
Go to the meat locker or wherever. Yeah, exactly.
That is it. God. Mark, I want to thank you. I don't want to take up all your time, because I want to get you another time to come back and want to hang out with me. But true respect. Lovely talking to you. First time you and I met, I feel like I know you for forever now. So it's a great conversation. Great conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a talent. It's always good to see you, Mark, and looking forward to seeing you.
Same here.
Yeah, wonderful. Mark, before we let you go out too, anything you want to say to anybody out there? We got the number. If we want to can we pop up that number again? My production team, the 800 number for everybody to call over there. And any other props, it's 800-882-1316, right there in the ticker, right underneath Mark. Any other props you want to give out there? Shout outs?
I just would like to compel people to look in to their heart, because we were all put here by the same power. And we've allowed the darkness of the earth, the values of stinking money to get on us. And it's turned us into different beings. We should not revel or be striving to get money. It's all about, we should be striving to get the truth about who we are and operate in the freedom of the love that put us here. When we start operating in love, the world will change. And we have the same abilities to do miracles if that's what it takes. I wouldn't, under my own command, I wouldn't know how to do it. But I have touched people. I have laid my hands on people, and they have recovered. It wasn't me, but it was the faith that they had in me touching them that made them whole. And that's love. That's love. Don't forget, this is what we're made of, brothers and sisters. And forget about anything else. We're all going to the same spot. Forget about the devil and all this. Love is it. Don't be afraid of anything. Nothing to fear here.
That's it.
That's right.
Beautiful message, man.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Okay, we're going to get out of here. Everybody that's watching, in the descriptions will be all the links from Chili with Love, February 23rd. Check it out. $3 goes to a good cause out there. The 800 number out there. You guys, I'll put that in the link too. Mark, thank you for being here with us. And,
yes, Mark.
Yeah. And I'll sign these. Yeah. Good seeing everybody here. And hang out here 1 second, gentlemen, while I do the intro out here. Everybody, subscribe, like it, support it, check out what Mark has going on. And you know what? This guy needs to be in the Hall of Fame. That's it,
That's
the Rock
right.
Hall of Fame.
Let's make
That's
it
it.
happen.
That's he's got
That's
my
it.
nomination. That's it. Let's see that
I
happen.
agree.
Yeah, true
Absolutely.
legend. True legend.
That's right.
Thank you. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. We're out of here.